Hi there. Once again, you're welcome to the studios of Frontline TV, bringing news to your front view. My name is Moses Calvin, your anchor on today's edition of the program Newspaper Headlines. Don't forget, it's coming to you from Frontline TV. Well, today we're going to start with the Daily Trust newspaper, which is the newspaper you can trust. In front of the Daily Trust newspaper, the leading story says new phantom agency courts SGF and governors. That's the main bold leading story in front of the Daily Trust newspaper. On top of it says concerns over inclusion of Beta Edu, others in Tinubu's campaign council. And this is a sad one. Hard phone technician loses 2 wives and children to fire. Fuel subsidy will reverse gains, says minister. And the bottom part of it says many worshippers abducted from Niger mosque during Jumaat prayers. The picture there, or shall I say pictures in front of the Daily Trust newspaper, is showing core members. That's members of the National Youth Service Corps, Batch B, Stream 2, in a cultural display across orientation camps over the weekend. Another sad one there, the bottom part of it says, how my husband, 2 children died after eating amala. This one is coming from the widow. NDLEA arrests 101-year-old woman for allegedly selling drugs. Benue medical lecturers begin strike over unpaid arrears. These are the leading stories in front of the Daily Trust newspaper, the newspaper which you can actually trust. Now, moving on to New Telegraph. In front of the New Telegraph newspaper, the leading story says Thabo Mbeki told Nigeria could face a coup after Obasanjo's second-term bid. Nigeria would have been a different place if Eradua hadn't died. This one is coming from Pat Utomi. And then the top part of it says, report, Nigeria spent $1.26 billion on food imports in 4 months. Then if you take a look at the down part of the heading of New Telegraph newspaper. Moving on to First Daily newspaper. From the front of the First Daily newspaper, the leading story there says, releasing Tinubu's US drug files will disgrace Nigeria, says Buratai. And then the top part of it, Obi demands action on killings, saying we can't keep counting bodies. And also security forces kill 6 suspected gunmen in Anambra raid. NDLEA arrests 101-year-old great grandma for selling drugs in sachets. And also 2027, no election should destroy Nigeria's unity, APC chairman warns. Troops rescue 6 kidnapped victims, recover cash in Katsina. And also Serap to INEC, publish campaign spending limits. And there in front of it, the picture there is the picture of the Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, poses with 850 young innovators who graduated from the Tech Rise Cohort 3 program after intensive ICT training. That's it from the First Daily. Moving on to the Punch newspaper, the most widely read newspaper. Now in front of the Punch newspaper, the leading story says, FAAC bonanza. Governors face questions as payouts hits 47 trillion naira. Post-subsidy windfall, FAAC revenue hits 47 trillion naira in 3 years, surpasses previous 6-year total. And also states, local governments get bigger FAAC shares. Governors face heat as subsidy removal debate resurfaces. Again, FG APC tackle Atiku over petrol subsidy return call. And the top part of it, tributes as Nollywood Ogunmon Ogogo at 66. Oil blocks, 31 winners face payment deadline. And also Osun poll, how vote buyers breached EFCC, ICPC and INEC defenses. 2027, Atiku Obi make final moves on campaign councils. And then the down part of it says 150,000 naira palliative, pensioners threaten mass protest. NDLEA arrest 101-year-old cannabis dealer and daughter in Ogun. And then 2027, Mba Onaikon, headline NGE debate on election disinformation. That's it from the Punch newspaper. We're now going to take a look at the front of the Daily Sun newspaper. Daily Sun newspaper leading story: Tinubu, Atiku, Obi differ on economy, security, and education. Nigeria needs new economic direction, not Tinubu's policies, says Donald Duke. And also subsidy, Atiku's U-turn without accountability dishonest. This one is coming from Hashim. And stakeholders demand issue-based campaigns, warn against violence. That's the leading story in front of the Daily Sun newspaper. More of the headlines: Delta dismisses Omo Agege's assassination claims, accuses him of seeking cheap media attention. Federal government targets digital independence, spends 3.8 trillion naira on IT. And then the other side of the front of the Daily Sun newspaper says beer prices may rise as brewers battle 113 billion naira H1 tax bills, higher energy cost. 2027 campaign: Kawu urges Yari-led APC council to acknowledge Nigeria's hardship, and also that is 4.20, should I say, let me just say 424 billion naira social welfare allocation from 20.4 trillion naira windfall is troubling. This one is coming from an expert. And the front picture there is the picture of some royalties in Warri Delta State, and also the group managing the down picture is showing the group chairman, United Bank for Africa, talking about Tony Elumelu, and also that picture was during the graduation ceremony of over 374 trainees from across Africa recently in Lagos. Those are the leading stories in front of the Daily Sun newspaper. Next is The Nation. The Nation newspaper leading story says dangers of Atiku's subsidy return proposal by the federal government. Idris Muda Yusuf roll back unthinkable. Ex-VP adjusts position on policy. And the top part of it says banks raise card spending limits abroad. And it's also, this other story is the same as the other newspapers that says 100-year-old woman arrested for selling drugs. 23.6% paternity test return negative. APC will continue to keep campaign promises, says Yari. And also CBN tightens scrutiny of banks' asset quality. And then learn to accept defeat. Way urges politicians. And that's the picture of the president, and also together with chairman of an organization recently, when the person paid him a courtesy visit at the presidential villa in Abuja. Air Force bombs terrorist. And also the last story that I'm going to take in front from the front of the Nation newspaper says work begins on Ibadan Ijebu-Ode road dualization. And popular actor Ogogo dies at 66. That's the much that we're going to take from the front of the Nation newspaper. And don't forget, you are watching newspaper headlines coming to you from the studios of Frontline TV, bringing news to your front view. The next newspaper that we're going to take a look at the front of it is the Nigerian Tribune. From the front of the Nigerian Tribune, the leading story: Presidential Campaign Committee, ADC leaders in battle of wits. And also NDLEA arrest 101-year-old woman. Bandits kidnap Kwara traditional ruler. Motorists groan. Trucks trapped at Oye Ekiti Elupeju and Kaba Road collapses. Most unfortunate there. Federal government to flag off Ibadan Ijebu-Ode road dualization today. And also the down part of it says Tinubu will earn a fresh mandate in 2027. This one is a declaration from Yari. Nigerians decry excessive cement price, demand explanations from manufacturers. and also Atiku's subsidy removal proposal, mayor election season declaration. This one's coming from the APC national chairman. I won't back down on my decision to restore targeted subsidy, says Atiku Abubakar. Osun government warns against fresh violence, urges post-election reconciliation. Those are the leading stories. You can get more of the details when you obtain a copy of the Nigerian Tribune. Vanguard is the next newspaper. From the front of the Vanguard, leading story says Nigeria's oil output drops by 20.8% in 10 years. Nigeria's influence with OPEC plus declines, and we're committed to optimizing output. Renaissance says any bad omen requiring urgent steps. This one is a call from the experts. From the top of the Vanguard newspaper, Onayekon Mba Osigwe Yadudu, others to speak at NGE Confab in Enugu come September 24th and 25th. Insecurity, end this madness once and for all. Obi taxed the federal government. How 23 stocks beat inflation. Fuel subsidy, return to old regime will worsen economic crisis. This one is an information from the minister. Is coming from him. That's actually from the Minister of Information, Idris. And then still NDLEA nabs the great-grandmother, intercepts cocaine, and also ranching. Federal government won't force policy on Benue, says Governor Alia. Sokoto terror attack, hunger trauma grips 7 communities. SGF, mom, as fake agency boss fires back. Those are the leading stories in front of the Vanguard. Now, the last newspaper that we're going to take a look at the front of it is The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper, leading story says 14 years after Oronsaye report, bloated agencies cost Nigeria 1 trillion naira in 2026. Presidency, Hashim, Sowore, others pick holes in Atiku's subsidy U-turn, and also Osun government alleges fresh plot to attack local governments and motor parks. Nigeria turns to banks for $20.5 billion to expand renewable electricity. From the top part of the Guardian newspaper, mixed reactions trail APC's campaign council membership. And also governors now to pay wages with devalued naira, says Afenifere. Democracy doesn't survive on polls alone, where tells Nigerian lawyers. And also actor Ogogo for burial today as Ogun celebrates the legacy of the late Nollywood actor. So that is it. And don't forget, newspaper headlines came to you from the studios of Frontline TV, bringing you news to your front view. Hope that you'll still tune in again next time, where we'll be bringing you more information that has to do with the happenings within Nigeria and also outside Nigeria. Thanks for watching. Moses Calvin is my name. Do have a wonderful day.